All right, this is going to be a big day, big day. Get ready to write because we are going to learn how to write equations of lines. We've got three forms to write them in. We already know slope-intercept, we already know standard, so now we got to do point-slope. So slope-intercept form, remember, is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. You'll go right to that form if I give you the slope and I give you the y-intercept. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. C isn't really anything special, it's just a constant. Important things, remember, this has to be positive. There can be no fractions or decimals. And no common factors other than one. One's a factor of everything, so we just sort of ignore that guy. So you can't have like 5x plus 10y equals 20 because they could all be divided by 5. We'll talk more about that. Point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Guess what? I messed up. I want the m in purple. The purple things are the three things you're going to be changing when you do point slope. So that's going to be our favorite thing. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Say it with me 3 times real fast. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Woo! Exciting. Slope formula, remember, between 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, you've got those in your notebook. You're going to come back to those time after time. So write the point slope. Really important that you read what it says. The point slope form of the equation. So above the point, I'm going to put x1, y1. I'm going to write down y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to leave the y, the minus, the equals, the parenthesis, the x, and the minus. Those are going to be in every single equation when I write point slope. Now it asks me for y1 right here. y1 is 8. It asks me for slope. Didn't change colors. You know how bad I am at this. It asks me for slope. Right there is slope, so I'm going to put -1. And then it asks me for x1. So right here, I'm going to put x1 minus 6. So it's just a substitution the very first time. But notice, this minus negative right here becomes plus positive. So your answer is going to look like y minus 8 equals -1 times x plus 6. That's called point slope. You have a point, x1, y1, and you have a slope. So we're going to do the same thing. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The first thing it asks for, nope. We're going to write y minus, we're going to write equals, we're going to write parentheses, x minus, and equals. Right here we want y1. Look at y1, it's -2. Ooh, when you see that minus negative, change it to positive. The next thing they ask for is slope. Slope is going to be -7/8. And then the last thing they ask for is x1. x1 is going to be 1. So your final answer is going to look like y plus 2 equals -7/8 times x minus 1. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, let's do it again, do it again. Here's x1, y1, and there's m. So we're going to start same way every time. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Do not be lazy. Do not skip that step. Do not skip this step. Those two things should be on every problem when it says that, even if you don't know what to do next. That comes in first. Here's y sub 1. It's, whoops, my minus disappeared. There we go. There's y sub 1. It's -5. Whoop, 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 whoop. Minus negative plus positive. Here is my slope. Slope is -1/2. Then it asks for x sub 1. X sub 1 is -4. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Minus, minus, plus positive. So we're going to rewrite it as y plus 5 equals -1/2 times x plus 4. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, look at D. So on D, you have to know when you see the word slope, that's M. And when you see the word y-intercept, remember we kept saying it has to be a point? This is y, 0, 2. So now 0, 2 becomes your x1, y1, okay? So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Rewrite y minus equals parentheses x minus and get ready to fill in. y1, it's 2. Slope, it's 5. x sub 1 is 0. So this one you could do it as y minus 2 equals 5 times x minus 0. I'm good with that. Or you might see it as y minus 2 equals 5 and then just times x because x minus 0 disappears. Personally, I like this one better. Okay, checkpoint 1, write the point slope form of the equation of the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. I'm going to give you some hints. x1, y1, y minus y1, whoops, that's a funny looking one, isn't it? Equals m times x minus 1, x, oh, well, I wrote it down, I can't say it. Write it down, do it, pause, talk to you in a minute. Okay, so now that we know how to write that, we're going to go from point slope to slope intercept. So here's what is important. You're always going to start with point slope form. Always. And remember, I've told you before, always is 99.4% of the time. There are 0.6% of times when you're not going to do that. We're not going to talk about those on this slide. So right here, I have x1, y1, and I have m. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Do not be lazy. Write that step. Write this step. y1, 7. Slope, 3. x sub 1, -1 plus positive. So I'm sitting here now. Y minus 7 equals 3 times x plus 1. Slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. What's this tell you right here? Get the y alone. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute over here on the right-hand side. Y minus 7 equals 3x plus 3. To get the y alone, I'm going to add 7. So y equals 3x plus 10. There's your slope-intercept form. On B, there's x1, y1, there's m. So y minus, look, I am getting lazy. I'm skipping. Do you see how I'm skipping this step and just writing the fill-in step? So now I need to know. First thing it wants is y1, -3. Whoops, change it. This is where m goes, -1/3. This is where x sub 1 goes, 6. So what I've got now is y plus 3 equals -1/3 x minus 6. You have a lot of ways you can do this. The way I'm going to talk about right now might be different than the way another teacher tells you. I want you to take this 3 as a denominator and sneak it up here and turn it into multiplication. 3 times y plus 3 equals -1 times x minus 6. Then we're going to distribute. 3y plus 9 equals -1x plus 6. Subtract the 9. 3y equals -1x minus 3, and then divide by 3. So your final answer is y equals -1/3 x minus 1. That's horrible. So if you are not Mrs. Evans' student, you might do this a little differently. You might just distribute right here. That's something you and your teacher can talk about in class. Okay, now we're going to go 2 points to slope intercept. So remember, I like to start with y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I have x1, y1. Oh, what else do I have? I have x2, y2. Well, I'm going to fill this in. And it asks for y1, which is 1. It asks for m. I don't have an m. So I have to go off to the side and find m. Remember, m, your slope, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it's going to be negative 2 minus 1 over 8 minus 5, which is negative 3 over 3. So your slope is negative 1. You have to do that extra special step. Then it wants x1, which is 5. So now I'm sitting right here. Basically, I just rewrote that. Don't know why. I'm going to distribute here. Y minus 1 equals negative 1x plus 5. Slope-intercept means we get the y alone. So we're going to add 1 to both sides. All right, so I'm going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to go y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to go y minus equals space x minus. I want y1. There it is, 7. I want my slope. Oops, I don't have it. That's supposed to be purple. Go off to the side. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 3 over negative 1, so I'm going to put negative 3 there. I want x1, which is 3. I'm going to distribute. Y minus 7 equals negative 3x plus 9, and I'm going to add 7. So y is going to equal negative 3x plus 16. So this whole slide, it starts the exact same way. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. When you get to fill in the m, you're at an uh-oh stage of your life. I don't have it. So you have to go off to the side and find the slope using this formula. So much fun. So much fun. Okay, so let's do it again. We've got x1, y1, x2, y2. Guess what we're going to write? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus equals x minus. y1, 6. Slope, I don't have it. So I go over here. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 5 over 0. Stop in the name of math. You've got a 0. You gotta fix it. You gotta fix it. When you have a 0 involved, that means it is a special line. It's either a hoi, horizontal, or it's a vertical, vux. This one, the 0 is underneath, it's undefined. This is undefined right here. That means your equation is x equals. What do both my x's equal? 3. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. All right, so we go over here. x1, y1, x2, y2, y minus equals x minus. I'm getting lazy again. First thing I need is y1, negative 2, plus positive. Next thing I need is slope. Don't have it. So, boy, I should have left myself some room, huh? My slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Uh-oh, that's 0 over 9, negative 9. Stop. In the name of math, you've got a 0. It is special. It is special. Is it a hoi or is it a vux? This 0 on top means your slope is 0. That's what this 0 means. That tells you your equation is y equals. What does y equal? Negative 2. Woo! Those are fun. Those are my favorite. That's going to be our secret word. Think it over. I don't even know why that came up. Maybe I'll change that. That's our first secret word. Okay, checkpoint 2. You're going to write point slope form of the equation of a line that passes through the given points. Hint, hint, hint. x1, y1, x2, y2. You know I'm going to write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm also going to say, oh, I bet I need to know the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Use all that info. Get the equation. Talk to you in a minute. Okay, write an equation in point slope form for the line that passes through that point with a slope of, and then graph the equation. So I'm going to rewrite that over here because that's kind of mushy. Here's my point x1, y1. Here's my slope, -3 over 2. So I'm going to go y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus equals space x minus. First thing I need is y1, 3. Next thing I need is slope. Oh, they gave it to me! -3 over 2. Next thing I need is x1, -2 plus positive. I am going to take this 2. I don't like fractions. I'm going to sneak it over here. The big sneak. I'm going to put a 2, and then I'm going to put parentheses y minus 3. On this side, I've got -3 parentheses x plus 2. Distribute. 2y minus 6 equals -3x minus 6. Add 6, add 6. Uh-oh. I have 2y equals -3x. I get y equals -3 halves x. Here's my problem. Where do I begin? What number would be over here? Plus 0. That means I start at the origin. I go down 3, right 2, because my slope is negative over positive. Down 3, right 2. Or remember, I can go up 3, left 2, up 3, left 2. I draw a really bad line because I'm really bad at this. Okay. Could I have just graphed this point, -2, 3, and used my slope then and found the exact same points? Yeah, but they told me I had to write my equation. So there's my equation down there. Okay, so they're going to use the point 2, 3 to write an equation of point slope form of the line shown. So I know I've got the point 2, 3, x1, y1. What am I missing? Slope. Can I find the slope? Yes. Remember, I start at the point on the left, and I go up or down. I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So down 3, negative's my direction. And I'm going right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That reduces to -1 over 2. I know you don't know what I'm going to do next. Oh, yes, you do. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus equals space parentheses x minus. First thing I need, y1, 3. Next thing I need, slope, -1/2. Last thing I need, x of 1, 2. Oh, it said to leave it in point slope. I wonder if it said that in the last slide. I don't know how to go back and look. You might have wanted to leave it in point slope on the last slide. I don't know. Maybe I messed up. Go back and look for me, okay? Hey, have fun. See you later. Bye.